party, man.
Party people in the place to be. It's about that time for us to.
Welcome to Ask the Good Doctor. We are here for your health on SiriusXM Urban View, Channel 126. I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire, sharing life-saving information about how to attain, maintain, and reclaim your perfect health. Please join me on Twitter at Ask the Good Doc, on Instagram and Facebook at Ask the Good Doctor. I'd love to engage with you. And now, I'm so excited, and now you can check for videos of the show and educational videos on my YouTube channel. That's right, on Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire on YouTube. Check it out. And you can also subscribe there too. Yay! That makes me very excited. Hey, Jennifer, yay! Now, there is a new video up on the website, on YouTube, every week at Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire channel. Send me your questions, your concerns, and your health praise reports. Yes. Now, because you know we love to do the testimony times and the health praise reports right here. Today, we are going to talk about two of my favorite topics to two of my favorite people. We will discuss the health benefits of dance and why everyone should have a chiropractor. Yeah. Now, on your health team, if you don't have a chiropractor, after this program today, it is my hope and my prayer that you will run out and get one, in addition to running out and taking a dance class. All right? Joining this conversation is Dr. Judith Hatch, a chiropractic physician from Albany, Georgia. Welcome, Dr. Hatch.
Thank you so much, Dr. LaJoyce, and it's just a pleasure to be with you and a pleasure to just feel close to the subscribers.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And it's a pleasure to have you all the way from Georgia. And in studio is a dance diva who has trained and staged and choreographed many recording stars and teaches dance at the Alvin Ailey Dance Theater. Meet Robin Dunn.
Hey, LaJoyce. My pleasure to be here. So thankful that you have me. I'm ready to go.
Okay, let's do it. Well, grab your good doctor notebooks. You do not want to miss a moment of this great information here today. And you know, I want to thank Judy, because she contacted me on Facebook and said, I was driving when I heard that good information and I didn't have my good doctor notebook handy. So you're going to have to give it to me right here. And I sure did. So listen, don't hesitate to contact me if there's anything that you want to know or anything that you miss. But really, you should have on demand. All right. And I know I don't say that enough, talk about being on demand, but we do have on demand, so you can rewind the show to write down something important, or you can listen to it at a later time. Or if you missed the show altogether, you can listen. But first, I want to acknowledge that recently the nation celebrated National Dance Day. Now, I could not let this opportunity go by without having this conversation with you about dancing as an optimum health benefit. Time magazine recently published an article titled, "Dancing is the best thing you can do for your body." Did you see that, Robin?
I did not.
Oh, my God.
I need to check that out.
Yes. In it, the writer explores lots of reasons why dancing is the king of all exercising, like watermelon is the king of all fruit. Mm-hmm. And I will add also that to me, dance is the king of artistic expression as well. Now, here is what is the most riveting about the piece. A Colorado State University study showed that dancing has increases the moods and the mind benefits. I like that. And like no other cardio exercise, even more than cardio exercise does. All right. And the study found that hip hop dancing improves energy, elevates mood, and lowers the stress.
All right.
I thought that was awesome, since Miss Robin here teaches hip hop to beginners. And it also showed, this study, that dancing improves the white matter of the brain. Now, I want to get technical for just one moment. Now, the white matter is the part that is the connective tissue, because the connective tissue in the brain is technically white. So that's why it's called white matter. But this is the stuff that breaks down as we age, that affects our cognitive ability to remember things and to recall, and with speed also. And I think that's fascinating, that dance can do all of that. All right. That's why divas are still kicking it at 80 years old. All right.
Indeed.
Uh-huh. Now, here are some of the reasons.
Not that I'm 80.
Oh, of course she's not. Look at this beauty. All right. Here are some of the reasons why dancing is the best form of exercise. Number one, it builds muscle. And that's are absolutely important at every age. And it improves fine motor skills and balance. And one thing that I'm seeing in my office with people who are coming and they're younger and younger, they're losing their fine motor skills. And they have no balance to speak of. Like they cannot walk up a set of steps without holding onto a handrail in their 20s. I'm astonished by this. This is that up all night in front of the TV and in front of video game society where they are not doing anything that helps to stimulate the fine motor skill other than their thumbs, okay? Wrong. You have got to do it with your whole body, all right? It keeps the joints flexible also, dance does. Now, this is my favorite part. It relieves stress, improves the mood, helps with anxiety. And therapists are now using dance as an exercise for, not, and I don't mean exercise, physical exercise, but going to dance as an exercise for people who are suffering with anxiety problems, because their thing is that it can deal with the fear, being fearful of being in certain social situations, like speaking in front of an audience or interacting with people at a party. I was like, that is just straight awesome. I love that. Now, the idea is that dancing is a way to make you feel more comfortable with expressing yourself in front of strangers. Because if you actually do dancing on a stage, and when those lights hit you, you can't see out into the audience. You can't, it looks like a sea of nothing, and you're just up there having your way, basically. And of course, the last but not least, dancing absolutely helps weight loss, because you are using every single muscle in your body. And I would have to say that that was what I missed most about when I had a foot injury and couldn't do anything. I missed going to my dance classes, and I missed teaching my African dance classes. So full disclosure, I'm a dancer by trade. My family owns a dance school in Chicago, Studio One Dance Conservatory. Hey, Cousin Pam. And we have had that dance school for, oh my gosh, since the 80s. And I'm a founding member of the family's dance school, and it's still fabulous today. So dancing has been a part of my life since I was 3 years old. And I think this is as good a time as any to bring on our Robin Dunn, a dance and staging coach to the stars. And she teaches dance at Alvin Ailey Dance Theater, and to name a few.
And Steps on Broadway. And she was recently featured in Dance Teacher magazine. Look at this beautiful lady. Oh my gosh, in a full page spread in Dance Teacher magazine. That's how awesome she is. And Robin and I met in the 1980, 90, whatever, when I was working in the entertainment industry. And yes, I would call Robin to help stage my people because they needed staging. They didn't know where to stand, and I couldn't always be the one to tell them, but Robin could. Thank you for being here. Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
She's also one of the women behind the mic, y'all, that you will read about in the forthcoming book. Yes, who worked in the record and radio industries in the golden era.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed.
I remember those days well.
Okay. Now, what is your take on dance for health benefits?
You know what? It's like the important thing you always hear when you talk about health. Mm-hmm. And I know this from my journey of being a caregiver to my mom and dealing with the physical therapist. The prime word that's always used is move. Keep moving. Make sure the patient moves every 2 hours. Mm-hmm. You mentioned earlier about individuals being on their devices. There's so much of that going on, and I say that a lot in my class. There's less of us being more emotionally engaged and physically engaged than more engaged in devices. Mm-hmm. And I find that students will come in and they'll say, you know what, I felt bad at work or I felt bad at school. You named a lot of really great benefits. In addition, it's like fun, escape. They would come in from work or school and say, you know what, I've had a bad day and I feel better now. And I find that the interesting thing is that people will come and have gym memberships, and they'll say, you know what, I mean, the gym's okay, but I don't know, I don't think I can, enjoy that as much as I do dance. So I just make sure it's a fun atmosphere. I make sure it's attainable, and I make sure that I connect with my students.
Yes.
So it's also a form of connecting with other people, because our society is less designed for that. So the social connection is important as well. And that builds morale.
That's interesting you say that, because I'm going to tell you, the girls I danced with, I grew up dancing with, we are like family today.
There you go.
I mean, we are an unbreakable
Yes.
bond, my
Yeah.
dance sisters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you think about all the times you spent in that sweaty studio crying and laboring
Exactly.
and working together as a unit to become one, to
Mhm.
present something, I don't know, something happens.
Yes.
You know?
Confidence is a big one.
Amen. That's true. And lifelong friendships.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm grateful for my daughter has found dance on her own also.
Yes, for our baby girl. She's dancing as we speak.
Dancing as we speak at Alvin Ailey, got herself a scholarship. Thank you, Jesus.
All right, Ailey Extension.
Yes, Ailey Extension. Now, how and when did you start dancing, Robin?
Ooh. Let's say, let's just say I've been dancing a long time.
Okay.
I don't give numbers,
Okay.
but I've been dancing longer than some people have been alive. So
Okay.
it's been decades.
All right. Now, what prompted you to start engaging in dance classes? Because did your mama take you kicking and screaming? Believe it or not, my mama took me kicking and screaming.
Really?
Kicking and screaming. I saw a woman who was so lavishly made up, it scared me. And I didn't want to stay.
And it's so funny because as we walked through the corridor to come into the studio, I looked at you and I was like, she still has her dancer-esque vibration going.
thank you,
can
darling.
tell.
Mm.
Yeah. To answer the question, when I was 10 years old, I went to a friend of mine's dance recital at the Charlotte Pollock Dance Studio. And I say Charlotte Pollock Dance Studio because my dance teacher said, oh, when you get on television or if you go on the radio, you won't say my name. Charlotte Pollock, Woodside, Queens, New York. You hear me saying the word. My friend Janice Jasper was in a dance recital. And I sat there for the 2 hours mesmerized. I went home and I remember like it was yesterday. I said, Mommy, can I join dancing school? And she said, sure, baby. And so she enrolled myself and my two sisters.
Okay.
And I've been dancing ever since. My sisters have gone into other professions. And together we worked for a while together. And I stuck with it. And I'm still dancing today.
And you all work together. Your name is Dunn and your company, Duntorian Company.
Back in the day,
They were the ones to call if you had an artist with 2 left feet.
Just an artist that needed to present themselves on stage or in front of a camera.
Yes, ma'am.
We were the ones. We were known as the Motown without the record company component. So you would get the A to Z service. And then we later created a management consultancy side of things. So we began to consult on managing artists as well. And it was great because, again, we were known as the Dentori Sisters, and we had a good run.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Sure did. You've created something also, too, that's called the F.A.C.E technique. Explain that.
Okay, yeah. F.A.C.E is an acronym for focus, attitude, confidence, energy, and eye contact. And it is like the sum total of my life's work. And most people find that I'm very maternal and encouraging and supportive. And this particular technique, I found a way to get paid for it.
Okay.
Yay. So it's my coaching brand, and it's what I use to aid and help others to present themselves on stage, on camera, in the workplace. And the key aspect of this is the inside work. You know, so much of what we do in our society is on the outer level. And it was actually inspired by my journey with depression. So for years, I battled depression, and I created something called the self-test, and that enabled me to monitor my life from a qualitative and quantitative basis. So I measured 10 key areas of my life juxtaposed with what I got growing up from parents and significant others. And it helped to create a tool that I used and now I use with my clients to aid them to do the inside work so that we stand in front of a mic, stand in front of a group and really be our authentic selves. Because you can run, but you can't hide. So I create workshops where I combine, where we move. I'm going to be creating what I'm calling the hip hop workout, WERK, where we work out for 60 minutes and then we do the inside work.
Oh,
so
that's
that you stand
essential.
in your truth.
Yes, ma'am. That is essential. You know, you just outlined your book.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
I told you were an inspiration.
All right now. Now, as a teacher at Alvin Ailey, that can be intimidating to the person who's just getting started. As you know, getting started is the hardest part. How can you ease the fear of someone who wants to dance or get back into it?
Interesting that you say that, because I joined Ailey in 2003, so 15 years old. And in 2004, they created the Ailey Extension. Real classes for real people. And people were very, very intimidated about coming to Ailey. And now we have students like Joe Lano and George Junko. They're two New York licensed therapists that take classes that have lost weight, that have created a whole social atmosphere, and they're like kind of rock stars in the building. But at any rate, there was a whole media campaign. And I know in my own classes, I do my best, and I'm really successful at making people feel comfortable so they return.
Okay, awesome. Now, I've got time for just one question before break. Teresa on Facebook says, I want to take dance classes again. It's been a long time, and I'm worried I won't be able to keep up.
When people from the outside looking in, it always seems like it's so much more intimidating.
Yeah.
You have to take the first step, and then the first step is even asking the question. It's like, where do I go? What do I do? Once I think it's up to the teacher to help the student to be comfortable. So in order for any action or to get any result, you have to take the first step so that you get the results that you want. I think because when you come into the building, it's in a comfortable atmosphere that people, once they, again, at least take the first class, they're relieved. And a lot of people will, they feel like, oh, my goodness, that wasn't as bad as I thought.
Yes.
So I'm here to say, is it Teresa?
Teresa,
come on by. We'll make it comfortable.
Yay. One more before break. Old Man David from my website asks, is it a good thing to get children involved in dance classes early?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Get from in front of that television, that device, that telephone, and interact with other children.
Come on.
That whole
That's
social
important.
component, it's like connecting with people is something that is like something from the past even. But picking up the phone and calling somebody and hearing somebody's voice. There's nothing like a hug. I'm a hugger.
Yes.
I'm a big time hugger.
Yes.
And it's like, you can put that phone down and hug me and you're going to feel it.
Listen, I remember sweating it out in my dance teacher's studio, and she would hug us on the way in the door and on the way out. And after she kicked your butt all day, and we would just toil, but it was nothing like the hug from the dance teacher. It was warm, it was accepting, it let you know you were loved someplace else other than at home. And if you weren't loved at home, you were loved here in this space. Oh, it just meant so much. And I understand what you mean by that. Also, what do you do for your self-care?
I keep moving. And I've been working closely on my diet. Because I haven't had the worst eating habits in the world, but it's not as clean as it could be.
Okay.
And ladies and gentlemen out there, I'm sitting across from a woman who actually inspired me and continues to inspire me to do just that. And I think it's important that you have a network of people that help to encourage you. And at a time where I really needed you, I picked up that phone. I was like, I don't want to get emotional right now.
That's okay.
And you were there.
Amen.
And I appreciate you for that.
Oh, thank you, sweetie. We're going to take a break, and when we return with more from Robin Dunn, and Dr. Judith Hatch is going to tell us why chiropractic care is essential. Don't go away. You're listening to Ask the Good Doctor on SiriusXM Urban View, Channel 126.